Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening to wherever you're checking in. Thank you for being here. Hio Homi Takiape, Eva Cordova Imachiape, Malakota and Taos Pueblo. My Thama is Joseph Conquilla Cordova. My Ina or my cause, Patricia Cordova. I'm sixth generation from Chief Red Cloud. I'm the owner operator of AC and Associates. I'm a mother, daughter, community member. I'm a co-host of Sissies, Unchis, and Aunties, the show that you're watching right now in live play or in replay. I just want to say hello to everybody out there and happy Native American Heritage Month. Woo! So I want to thank you all for being here. And I also want to say greetings. I want to say thank you. I want to say Wopila. Pilamayaye, gracias, Atiehet. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for another beautiful day. I'm so excited to be here to share this stage and this page and this space with some amazing and beautiful individuals that I call my sisters from another mister. I'm gonna go ahead and bring them on right now. But before I do want to say thank you to our sponsors that have helped us brought this to you today. That would be Native Muse Productions, Paul Gowder from PowWows.com, and Manuelita Wellness. I know I'm not saying it right. Manuelita Health and Wellness LLC. I think that's right. But if not, she'll tell you later. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the prayer, but I'm going to go ahead and bring my sisters on so that they can introduce themselves, my co-hosts, and then I'll go ahead and get into a prayer after they do their introductions. So let's bring to the stage the amazing Jennifer Varenchek and my other sister, Justine Medina. Hi, ladies. Remember to unmute yourselves before we talk. And I'm going to say thank you so much for being here.
I'm really happy to be here. I'm not in my usual place. I'm at my sister's house, and it feels good to at least have like this interaction. It makes me really happy. I'm happy to be here.
Hi, I'm happy to be here too. It's just always great to be in space with y'all. I feel like y'all have seen me grown up, so like it's just it's just so nice to be here, and happy Native American Heritage Month.
So thank you. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and start off with a prayer, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. I am a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the owner operator of AC and Associates. I am a mother-daughter community member, but I also want to introduce myself this way. I have short hair. It's highlighted. I wear glasses. I'm wearing some bling bling beaded earrings. I'm wearing a beaded medallion that was gifted to me by a friend, Carol Lloyd. I'm wearing a black shirt with sparkly neckline on my shoulders, and my background is my logo. And I'm doing it that way because I went to a conference, a gathering recently, and it was of disability. And the way that she introduced herself was just like that, introducing herself so those that can't necessarily see it can understand what what I look like. So I'm going to go ahead and, as I said, my name is Ava Cordova, and when I do things, I like to do introductions, I like to do prayer, and I like to do land acknowledgement. That's just something that I do for myself and the way that I was brought up. So, and also, you know, the way that we're brought up, our teachings are a lot different from each other. Whether we're all Native American, we all have different ways that we do things. So today I'm going to pray with this abalone shell that I have. Inside this abalone shell is some different medicines, some cedar, some California sweetgrass, and I also have some witch's medicine, but not some Navajo tea.
I think we lost her for a moment, but I know that she was going to do her land acknowledgement. Teeny, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. While we're waiting for her to come back, I realized I didn't like introduce myself in my traditional way. I was just like, "Hi, I'm here." So while we're waiting, I can go ahead and introduce myself. Skugtash, Aninapchugik, Jennifer Varanchek, Aniat Tonoatam. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jennifer Varanchek. I'm from the Tonoatam Nation, and I am currently streaming in from the Las Vegas, which is the homelands of the Southern Paiute. And I just wanted to recognize that that is the land that that I'm streaming in from. So I don't know about you, Justine. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, hi everyone. I didn't do my introduction either. My name is Justine. I am Navajo, Ho-Chunk, and Menominee from my mom's side, and from my dad's side, he's from Yucatan, Mexico. I am calling in from right outside of San Francisco, Daly City, and these are the traditional homelands of the Ohlone peoples, and they were the original caretakers. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. I wore multiple hats in the community, but the most recent one that's taken over my life is I'm a mother. So a little bit about me.
Yay! And that is like the most important job, right?
Hey, I took over every job.
Yeah. It's how is he?
He's good. We're over a year and a half now, so he's trying to say some words, running around. I still haven't been able to sleep throughout the night, but it will come soon, I think. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then showing off my bling too today.
Oh, those are nice. I wish I could like zoom in. I can't really see. But that's because my eyes are old eyes. Okay. Oh, we had her back. Yay, she's back. Okay, we introduced ourselves in our traditional way. So we'll hand it right over to you.
Awesome. Thank you. I knew that I was going to have some issues when we started, so my internet is a little bit wonky right now, but I was able to get my abalone shell, and like I said, I have some sage in this shell, and I have some cedar. So I'm going to go ahead and it's important for me. Prayer is important in my life, and prayer is important in my business. So let's start this off in a good way. I'm going to go ahead and say a prayer. Creator, we come to you today with an open heart and open mind, thankful for the many blessings. Thankful for the many blessings that we have on a minute, monthly, second basis, from the ability to walk, talk, be here today, to gather, to laugh, to get through these ups and downs, to share some important information, and just be in space and community during this amazing month of November, which is known as Native American Heritage Month. Creator, asks that you watch over these amazing women that are on here today. I also ask that you watch over the individuals that are watching this either in the live stream or in replay. Creator, continue to bless them as you've blessed me. Keep them healthy, wealthy, and safe. May this event today be filled with laughs, love, and information. As the season comes to the winter, and as we are in our homes, let us take care of our elders, our little ones, continue to teach those traditional teachings that have opened doors and have shut doors, but have continued to keep us strong and on a path that needs to be made. Thank you, Creator, for all your love. Ta'a pilamayaye, gracias, etiehe, ajonas le, ajonas le, ajonas le. Aho. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So now that we've all introduced ourselves and we've done a land acknowledgement and we've done prayer, I'm going to go ahead and bring on the magical guest that is my Return to Heart sister. She is amazing. She is funny. She is a ball of energy all the time. I'm always loving her Monday motivations, and you'll see her just her authentic self. I know. She is my sister. I'm a grantee from the Return to Heart Foundation, as is she. If you don't know about the Return to Heart Foundation, please look it up. It's an amazing sisterhood that gives back to community. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on now. The amazing Dawn Manuelito. Hi, sister.
Dagot Ed. Si, Dawn Manuelito, Gonse, Yat Dawn Manuelito, Nishe. Again, that is, I am Dawn Manuelito. I am CEO and founder of Manuelito Health and Wellness Systems. And it's a pleasure and honor to be with all of you here today. Thank you so much, April, with all your amazingness. And, you make me sound like I'm all shiny and glittery. So it's okay, but it is, that's who I am. Yeah, April, thank you. I am really quite busy a lot, and just want to give thanks to all of you out there, because you ladies are amazing. April, we're Solstice Sisters. Return to the Heart organization is really a special place to me. I almost started crying, April. Here I go again with me and my balls of tears. I'm all over the place. So ladies, it's nice to meet you in this space, and super excited to be here, and just an honor to be here. Return to the Heart organization actually helped me with my first steps with Manuelito Health and Wellness Systems. And Manuelito Health and Wellness Systems, we are an organization that teaches from a complete wellness wheel, which is emotional, spiritual, mental, physical, nutritional, and financial. And we just will, in our Apache and Ine and Dene ways, we always seek in balance, a journey in balance, walking in our balance, and a walk in beauty. And so bringing those two things together and coming together and really designing a program that can help understand historical food traumas and food systems of our Native Indigenous peoples, and then take it a step further and understand the gut health and how does that all affect and intertwine into who we are, where we come from, and who we are today, and possibly changing the direction of our health and wellness systems of where we're going tomorrow. And so those are really the primary focus, and the mission is to always make sure that we teach this in a way of through community, Native Indigenous communities, sharing from a loving space and peaceful space for our people, and caring and safe spaces as well. So that's a little bit about Manuelito Health and Wellness Systems, a little bit about my introduction. I am half San Carlos Apache, half Dene. I was born and raised in Fort Defiance, Arizona, in the Navajo Nation, and also had the privilege, and I say privilege and honor because not a lot of us get to grow up on our homelands, right? So I got to grow up on both homelands, and I was taught traditionally and culturally in the modern Western world as well, and how to live in balance in those worlds, right? And as kids, we kind of just grow up on the res, right? I'm a true res girl, ladies. I love my all my authentic self of who that is. And sometimes I get them confused and mix them right up. And here you go. Here's Dawn. This is who you get. And so, but a little bit about that. It's just been a space of growth and change and just evolving as we grow through a world of Western society that says, hey, this is who you are, and this is who you have to be, and this is what you should be like, and all these standards, right? And then they keep moving the bar all over the place, right? So it's like, well, where are we at? Taking it back, I am 6th generation to Chief Manuelito of the Diné Nation. I am also the granddaughter of a Navajo code talker that fought in World War II, who helped design an unbreakable code for our nation to defeat the enemy, in aiding defeating the enemy. And that those two powerful bloodlines, create who I am, as well as my Apache bloodline coming from my Apache side in San Carlos, and our families of our traditional herbalists and healers and people that I come from. So, it's a rich culture. It's a deep culture. It's, very intimate of who I am. And sometimes I got caught up in that little world of Western society and those expectations and, growing up, and, but we also lived in the real world of, life, as far as like, the trauma of our people, and getting off balance as well, out of balance and out of harmony with who we are and our indigeneity and our identity, right? So my grandfather, the code talker, this is really where my passion for wellness came from, is from my bloodline and my lineage. Chief Manuelito always stated, go off and climb the ladder of education, bring it back to our people, despite what the white people did to us. Still go and gather that knowledge and information. And one of the understandings and concepts behind that is not go off and be like them and change who you are and lose who you are, but also go back and bring that knowledge in, but never forget who we are, never forget who we come from. That way, we're that much more powerful. We empower ourselves. We share that knowledge and that information. And I just see across Indian country, as I teach and travel and grow, that I see all of this just beauty in us, because we are growing, we are empowering, we are coming together, we're uniting, and we're taking all that knowledge and, we're embracing it and sharing it with our people, and now utilizing it to be more powerful and resilient and strong, and just knowing where my ancestors have come from and really what they did for us, right? The long walks across every nation. And then, when Chief Manuelito signed the treaties in 1868, we didn't know what the future was like, but they did see it, and they knew it had to do with, learning who we are and always keeping that ingrained in us. And then as, time moves on, the trauma evolves, but our richness in who we are, and Creator and Mother Earth, and those values, those core concept of values, is really, developing who I was growing up. And, a lot of times it was, a lot of strictness, don't do that, don't do this. And, get all these things, right? It's from grandmas and the aunties and the those that, are raising us, and my mom, and a second mom and my godmother, and just these women that poured life into me. It was tough, it wasn't easy, but it was all so beautiful now that I look back on it, and my grandfather, the Navajo code talker, a language, not just our Diné language, but all languages that was getting ripped from us, they were being reprimanded for speaking languages, and, and a lot of these boarding schools and across the country and nations that they battled. But that is one thing they couldn't take that, couldn't take our identity, couldn't take our language, right? And I feel like, now it's my responsibility to make sure we learn it, make sure I keep it and cultivate it and enrich it. It's kind of funny though, because I tell my mom, my dad, my family is like, in my household, there was both languages spoken and English. So you go off to school for English, and then you come back home, and then and then there's ceremony and culture, because I grew up with ceremony too. And it's so funny because you get these ways, and then I get my languages mixed up. They're very similar. So I just like, okay, how they have the Spanglish? I have the just Diné and Apache, and they're just all mixed up. So maybe that has a lot to do with my personality and my characteristics. And, but this is a world that we live in now. And I feel like, a long time ago, it was kind of like, in this world of labels, right? I feel like, it's hard enough being Native Indigenous people and knowing who we are. And I come across it all the time, I didn't know you were Native, what Native, and, but representing, and now I can be honoring our ancestors and saying, this is who I am, this is where I come from, and I might not speak my fluent language on either side, but I fluently know who I am on the inside. I fluently know what flows through my bloodline, and I know that can never be taken from me. So I'm so thankful and grateful for all of that. And that's my history and culture and who I am. And I'm so appreciative of all of that and just embracing all of it. And so a little bit about that was a little bit about culture and teaching and upbringing, and with my grandmothers and aunties and the females in our matriarchal society. I grew up learning about different herbs and plants. My grandmother, my Nali, she was a weaver. So, so growing up and learning those things, and then, learning from how planting and harvesting and foraging, it's beautiful, and I'm so thankful I learned that. And I'm so thankful come on, we got to go again, or you have to go with us. And the visits, I remember visiting with my, I see everybody commenting on the platforms. And I, so thankful when my parents and my mom, I remember going to the different elders' homes and listening to the elders and how she would go and just visit, just check in on them, and visit, and my dad and all his stories of hunting and how the different things that they would experience out there. So it's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful world to be a part of. And I'm so grateful and blessed and thankful for all of it. And I feel like, we, as times evolve nowadays, I feel like, so many of our youth are looking for that richness. It's kind of scary at times, even my own sons, I've had to make sure that I integrated, some of our culture, if anything, what I've learned and what I've taught, So I have 3 boys, I don't want to say boys, they're young men now, they're grown, and, they're on their own and seeking their careers out of their degrees and stuff. And, so it's been an amazing journey. Completely love it. Now what I talk about as far as gut health and healthy living, recently, if it wasn't for my gut health and healthy living, April, I do have some, my grandfather is a Navajo code talker. So 2 years ago in 2022, I went to a Lori Payestewa memorial, which is my sister, Barbie Williams, her family, Percy Payestewa. as the mother of Lori Payestua. They have their every annual time of honoring Lori at the Payestua Memorial here in Phoenix. So I finally got to go 2 years ago, and I met a lady named Lisa Hallett, who is the founder of Wear Blue, Run to Remember for all fallen heroes and Gold Star families. It's just a blessing to meet her, and I actually spoke it into existence in our Apache language. I just casually said, yeah, one day I'd like to run a marathon, before I turn 50. And she's looking at me, she's, oh, really? And so we started talking. I told her about my grandfather, the Kotak. She says, oh, that's great. Every year we do a Marine Corps marathon. And I was like, really? Oh, and I like shiny stuff. So then guess what? God likes it. It sounded great. Oh, yes. And of course, it came to fruition. I got to run my first marathon. Thank you. I've not always considered myself a runner, but did you?
We also have two other marathon runners. Both Jen and Justine have run marathons. And I know earlier, I just wanted to, before you continue, this is what I love about visiting, is that we get to hear what I've been needing to hear. Like, I mean, it's just me. I'm talking about me, not everybody. Before you said like sparkly things, I told Jen before we even got on, I was like, is this too shiny? Because I don't feel shiny today. And she's like, no, it's good. And then earlier you're like, you want to be shiny. And, just sitting here and listening and visiting with you, I haven't been feeling all the great this weekend. It's flu season, I'm under the weather, but just to sit and share space with you is so healing to me. It's so healing to my soul to hear the things that you're saying about being able to pass on those things to your young men, your next generations. You're sixth generation, I'm sixth generation from Chief Red Cloud. There's a lot of great power just here in this setting today. So I'm so thankful and grateful that you're here, sister. And I know that the marathon, we've had conversation about you running that long bridge. So I want to hear.
I'm getting to that. Everybody wants to talk about the bridge. It's intense. So getting to this marathon, I signed up, and then actually I was okay until I got the actual email for the invite to register. And then that enter button, that submit button does everything, then that's when it's commitment time. And I'm one of those, all in or nothing, and that's just me. That's my personality. And I feel like that has a lot to do with our upbringing and our bloodline. My grandfather, the code talker, was very, about integrity and his word. And I mean, goodness, look what he did for the country. And his whole teaching on that philosophy was not that he was going off to fight for our government. He was going off to fight for our homelands, Mother Earth, our lands that we had, what we had left of, but all lands and all people. Our people, our Diné people, are all about, the five-fingered people, human beings. And learning and growing and evolving through life and the experiences and lessons and maturity, it's like live childlike, but grow into the maturity of understanding our culture and taking care of it. We're protectors of the land. We're protectors of our culture, our tradition, our medicine. I didn't always know that. I didn't always want to listen. I was always, but it was a strict family. So I'm thankful for that too. And so learning about this Marine Corps Marathon and putting my foot into my mouth and then registering and then going, okay, I have 22 weeks to figure out how to run 26.2 miles. And I was thinking, 26.2 miles, that's kind of far. Go ahead. Right? You think about it, right? So, and then what I realized, our mind. It's Mindset Monday today. So everybody understand. I do a Mindset Monday live. So everybody, this is your Mindset Monday. Okay. So we're not doing the 10-minute Mindset Monday. This is Mindset Monday today. And has everything to do with mindset. Everything has everything to do with mindset. And our mental health and mental awareness of where we are in our own space, sometimes we just need that moment. And sometimes it needs to take 26.2 miles to figure it out. Okay. So, and you don't know how strong you are until you have to overcome those mental roadblocks, those mental, distractions up there. And so many times I've had to figure that out. And I'm on the go all the time, April, you know this. And when we went out to summer solstice, what was I doing? Trying to figure out how to get my miles in. Remember, Liv was with me too. And we were out there. I was like, okay, I need to make sure I committed to these miles. So if I'm on travel, doing speaking engagements and enjoying summer solstice and everything, I was like, okay, nope, I got to get in 10 miles this Saturday. I got to do this, So it's all about those commitments and sacrifices. And then I took it back 1 second and I was like, you know what? If my ancestors had no choice and I do, and I only have to do 26.2, but they had to walk hundreds of miles, there ain't a thing wrong with me not completing this, right? Right. So I was like, okay, but did you know that it takes like over 387 miles to train for a 26.2?
Just like mine.
In 22 weeks, I'm thinking, okay, there's something wrong with this math. Okay, we gotta work on this math.
Marathon math.
The marathon madness math. Okay, we're gonna do that. And so I'm thinking, okay, so it's been amazing. We get to go time, we get there, we get to the start line. It's beautiful. You have adrenaline rush. You're in Washington, DC, you're at the Marine Corps Memorial, and the best part and the most eye-opening part is that we are not we're not represented as Native Indigenous people there. We need more representation. Our people save this country's ass, okay? I'll just say it like that. Use my language. I'm not sure if there's explicit lyrics here, but you can put that on there. But, we do it time and time again, right? And that representation needs to be honored. We need to be there. And so for me to run that marathon, I had even Marines asking who I was, what that was all about. And then they were like honored and they were like, oh my gosh, this is history right here. This is culture. This is Marine, because once a Marine, always a Marine. You got that Marine code, all of that. And it's so much more. Thank you, Wei. And so, sorry, I do that a lot. I'll be like, shout out to, okay. But, and we think about these things, and you're welcome, Dwight. And we fight for not only land and creator and our people, but our people and each other, right? And so running this marathon was so much more than just me running 26.2. It was getting to start line and getting to represent and getting to honor, finally give back something. I'm gonna get emotional. And being able to have that ability to do that. We're talking about that. And that mile, okay, that mile is hitting at mile 21, okay? Start bridge time. I didn't even know. I was just running. Okay, I'm running. But mile 12 was where we honored, that's where Wear Blue, Run to Remember, honored mile 12, all fallen soldiers. They did a special one for my grandfather, and he did his run, or he did his representation there. They put a photo. They held up held a flag for him, and it was so beautiful because Shelly Hayes, my sister at the time, she comes from the Hayes lineage, which is Ira Hayes. And how divine timing is that, right? That she would hold my grandfather's flag, and my grandfather was there with Ira at Iwo Jima. These stories it's just, these things come fruition. and you know your purpose. You know why at some point. Sometimes you don't even know. And then all of a sudden it hits you in the face. Your purpose comes right smack in the face. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, that's why this was prepared, right? So it was just beautiful, all these things happening. And as I'm running this capital and these lands of our other ancestors and nations that I'm running on, I'm thinking, wow, the top 12 nations and how they had the input of our founding fathers. And, it was a matriarchal society, right? And that's what those grounds were based on. And it's just beauty, and knowing who I am and running there and knowing my purpose and culture and rich. It was just beautiful running, and I used to live there in 89, but I didn't see it like I did then, like I do now. And so we get to my, bridge 21 and I'm trucking along. Okay. Some lady runs up beside me and she's like, hey, and I was like, hi. And I was like, I think I hit the gauntlet. That's all I wanted to do after I got through mile 12 and crying over there and emotional shedding and healing. Then I got around to 21. About mile 15, though, it was starting to hurt. 17, it was like, okay, suck it up, Dawn. You got this. You've already gone 17. Were you going to stop? No, there's no options. Okay. Once I commit to something, there's no options. And so it was crazy that going through this, I'm running on 21 and then I'm looking around, I'm like, it's getting thinner around here. There's like, and then I said, by the way, is this that bridge? Because it's the infamous bridge everybody talks about, because it's the bridge forever. Okay, so I had a support team going, okay, Dawn, we see you. Let us know when you're getting closer. And they're like, did you get to the bridge yet? I go, yeah, I'm on a bridge. They're like, which one? I'm like, pick one. I don't know, because it's DC and there's like a million bridges going across the Potomac. Okay. So I'm thinking, oh my goodness. So I'm running and I'm going and I'm like, okay, here we go. And on that bridge, the reason why it's so significant is because the whole rest of the course of this marathon, they call it the People's Marathon. And the whole rest of the course is there's bystanders all along the course, everywhere. It's just amazing, the support that's out there. Well, we're on this bridge and all of a sudden there's no people. There's emergency response people, but there's no people. There's no support. And then there's just this big bin of water. You don't get the Marines handing out the water. It's just a big bin now. So your SOL, if you don't have like a jug or something to get extra water, you have to wait till mile 22, 23 on the other side. So this is 3 mile. It's a 3 mile, 2.5 mile bridge. Okay, I'm going to say it's 3. So it's like the bridge forever. And people, this is where it all becomes mental. It's all mental, because this is where people are starting to stop. It's warm. You just ran 20 something miles. Now it's time. This is your last 10K. 6 miles is 10K. This is it. And people, it's all mental. It's mindset. Mindset is everything. So I think about those things, and I think about, what were my ancestors thinking? They didn't know how much further. They didn't have a point. They didn't have mile markers. They had our land, our mountains. Once we could see our mountains, we knew we were going home. Once we could see our 4 sacred mountains, we knew we were in our homelands. Once we could see, the different vegetations changing, we knew where we were at, right? So me, I'm like, I'm good. We're good, and it was beautiful, and got across the bridge, and okay, I'm good now, because you have to make it across once you get across the bridge, you have to make it past that point at a certain time. Now get this, ladies. How are we going to get across a bridge and get diverted as a Marine Corps marathon, like the granddaughter of a code talker? No, that's just, we don't do that, right? But that was like the fear and the terrifying part inside of me, was like, I need to represent. So it was amazing. It hurt. It was fun. It was tiring. It was everything to cross that finish line and know that all of your hard work, commitment, and honor was being displayed. But don't get it twisted, ladies. 26, and then you have that point 2. the last 200 yards is a Marine Corps marathon, ladies, people, men, women, two spirits out there. This last 200 yards was incline all the way through the finish line. April. Like, okay, why? Just, okay. But, you cross that line and then, you just see everybody and you're so thankful. So this is my finisher's medal.
Yay.
Yay.
I felt like the passion throughout your whole conversation right now. I was like, man, I'm gonna sign up for a marathon right after this.
Hey, you can come run with me next year. So this is the code talkers for the Marines that they designed for the code talker, and then this is our. And then I didn't know this, but look, check it out. It opened.
Nice. Very nice.
This was 2022. And believe me, talk about stories, right? This is and then this was this year. My Marine Corps marathon finishers. Yeah. So this one is beautiful too. Yeah, isn't it awesome? They go all out, They make
They
it
really do. Those are
I got
really nice.
I still got my free banana and watermelons, but they make it
the little blanket, the metal blanket, is it?
So check it out. Look at this. It opens, and then this year they had the dog tag. Isn't that cool? So they the thing is, it's this one of the top most prestigious marathons in the country that people come run, and it's hard to get into. There's a wait list, but if you run 5 of them in a row, you get a grandfather in guaranteed sign up. It's interesting. But I met the man last year. I met the man this year finally. Last year, there's a gentleman. His name's Glenn. I seen all the patches on his back. He's ran. It showed 50, but this year I actually got to meet him, and he ran 48 Marine Corps marathons. So he's run every marathon, every one of them, because this year was the 48th year celebration. Yeah. So he ran, and he was so excited to meet me, just as I was excited to meet him. We did selfies and all that, And the thing is, he's probably about maybe 20 years older than me. So I was like, okay, we have no excuse. I have nothing. But this year was a little bit more tough. This year I ran injured. Because when my sister and I, Barbie, she ran in honor of Lori Paestewa, and her sister represented well there. And she ran, and then I was like, sister, just run your race, because on our 16-mile weekend, I injured my foot. And it was really hard to recover. I rehabbed it, did everything, but there's this amazing thing called terahertz energy. If you haven't heard of it, I will share it with you. But it's amazing. Without that and PT, I would probably not have been able to run. And I'm not about all the pharmaceuticals, everybody. So that was not, I tried doing this shot thing and it didn't work. So I was like, nope, that made it worse. Oh my gosh, you guys, you have no clue. But it was torture. And talk about mental again. That injury, I've never experienced an injury before, but it was very minor. And I was like, man, you know what? This is messed up. I have limitations and I don't like that. And I don't know how those out there. And I feel very, very blessed and thankful that I even had that minor of an injury, because things are worse, right? And this year's marathon, when I was out there running injured, I met another young lady who was injured, Danae woman, Alicia. She was amazing. And Gina as well. And as we're running injured, I told my sister, run your race, run your marathon. This is what we're here for. So she did amazing. I think she finished 4 hours and something, or 5 hours. And I need to get her time, but amazing. As I was running though, injured again, reminder, our ancestors, they were injured, they were hurt. But this right here will get you through everything and anything. It will take you to your darkest places, and it'll also take you to the most amazing places from that, right? So I sucked it up and I was like, okay. And the last 200 yards, I was like, ladies, what do we got in us? And they're like, I don't know. I was like, well, you don't know if you don't try, right? Let's go. So we ran across that finish line and finished this year. It was just an amazing journey. And as I looked and as I was looking at people, there's cyclists, hand cyclists, they have the disabled that are able to enter this marathon. And I looked at it and I was like, you know what? They would give anything to have my abilities right now with an injury. So there's no reason why. No reason why. So it's, for me, it's all about mindset. It's all about perspective. And now let me run for you. If you can't, let me do that. Let me honor you that way. Let me honor our people, and just really bringing back to really, that's our, that's my purpose. I feel like that's our people's purpose, is to honor our lineage. We're 6 generations. We're generations now. We're 7th, 5th, 6th, 7th generations. And now 8th generations are coming around. This is what it's all about. And I'm like, wow, am I becoming wise now? Not really, because I always ask a bunch of whys and questions and everything. So, but that was the Marine Corps experience. It was beautiful. It hurt this year, believe me. It was painful, but it was painful in a good way, in so many good ways, And so I'm super excited about all of that and what the future holds. I'm looking forward to this coming year again. Everyone's like, you're gonna run it again. I was like, you know what? I was injured last year. Of course, we got to figure it out. We got to find out what I got in there, right? So, and looking at, so we do have support teams that, we want to make sure we have contributions to. So, April, I did share that information with you and what we do. And so, was that?
I said, right, you did share the information, and I did put in comments that individuals can connect with you through your link tree. And it is.
Oh, wow, there they are. Okay, I see.
So, I mean, support, sponsorship. I know that before we even got on here, I was like, let people know that you need help and how they can support you. And, running a marathon is hard. I always have wanted to run a marathon, but I physically can't do that. So that's why I actually go out and support and cheer. And for a lot of years, we have, as a former board member of the American Indian Community Council, which these young ladies have also been a part of, we've always had a water table at mile 17. We would put out water, and it's just, I can't actually run it. I want to support you. I'm actually going to do that again this year. If people, Native people in Los Angeles want to come out for the marathon, Los Angeles Marathon, we're going to have a space, and get in contact with me. Let me know how you'd like to participate, and I'll let you know where we'll be at. But whether you're running it, whether you're on the sidelines, I'm always about support. So please support Dawn if you can. Connect with her. I know some people were asking about connecting with you, so this is the way that they can do it.
Thank you. And then also, so that's my link tree. That's all the stuff, right? But getting into the meat and potatoes of this meeting and the beautiful, world of health and wellness, healthy living from the inside. This is my specialty. This is what I get passionate about in what I'm helping people. So that was my lineage, and I was telling April, this is what I would segue into, is that I developed Manuelito health and wellness systems. Do you hear an echo?
Yes, there is an echo.
Should I yell? You know how you yell in a canyon?
Yeah, everybody.
That's part of me too. I'll just go off on some other tangent.
Sounds
So,
better now.
okay, is that better?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe that yow did
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
But I know that you
So,
wanted to talk about gut health too. I
yes,
saw the apron.
health, healthy living from the inside out, understanding fuel for the body. How many of us take a look at ourselves and we don't realize, like, we look on the outside, right? And we look in that mirror and we're so judgmental because we have all these expectations, right? We have these outside expectations of society and life, and this is what we're supposed to do, right? And as Native Indigenous people, I always think back to my ancestors and our elders, like, did they really think that way? You know, we're busy trying to forage, we're busy trying to hunt, we're busy, you know, we had stuff to do, right? But I believe we did a little bit. But we have all these looks on the outside, but what really matters is the stuff on the inside. And what does that look like? And I say that. I love your smile, April. She's like, April got to witness this up front, close and personal. Let me see if I can back up my chair here and scoot you guys back a little bit, because you guys are going to see. So I teach gut health. I teach workshops across the country, Native Indigenous communities, also for a number of health and wellness companies. I teach workshops of understanding healthy living from the inside out. So you guys are getting some really good inside scoop right now. Understanding fuel for the body. How do we use energy? How was I able to run those marathons? How are we supposed to do the daily things that we do every day, right? And how can we like evolve and be healthier and understand wellness? You know, how many of us go to the doctors and we're like, you know, they told me to change my diet because I have high A1C or high cholesterol, or, you know, all these numbers from a blood panel, right? And the blood is so sacred, especially in our Diné way. Diné, we believe that bloodline is so sacred, right? So when you say something about bloodline or something happened and that's taboo, that's not really a good thing. But now we have this ability to share space, right? And be more open. So Western medicine, it has its needs. It has its purpose in certain places. But when we go back to culturally and understanding who we are from the inside out, I'm going to show you something. How many of you seen your guts lately? Yeah, April, have you seen your liver? Have you seen your pancreas? Right? And my res slang comes out every now and then, ladies. We just transition modes, right? Okay, here we go. So I take this apron everywhere with me, and I come out, and here you are. Here's all your good stuff. Some of these faces, your faces. I love facial expressions, right? Okay, you can't hide them. We're Native, can't hide those facial expressions. So we talk about this, and what does this look like? You know, we talk about, this is our stomach right here. Hey, your heart. Just ripped them out. And then you got your liver and your pancreas, and then your chi down here. So you have your bit, all these, you know, and then you have your little kidneys back here. See those? Your little kidneys. And these are, and then your muscle tissue, here's your thyroid, that's so important. All these major organs and things that help us be who we are every day, that help us survive through generations and histories of food traumas and food systems, right? And how does that help us? How does me showing you this help us? Well, this is what breaks down everything that we put inside of it. This is what handles our stress right here. This is, you know, what feeds our soul and our spirit and our nutrition. And where does that come from? By the foods that we eat, you know. Yes, it is, Way. You know, it is, you know, okay, so this apron was a a visual, right? A visual aid. But now it's almost like, Dawn, where's the apron? Like you can't, we don't get, like, they come just for the aprons. And so, you have to understand though, if you haven't seen your guts inside, if you haven't seen what is this thyroid, how can I help you understand it? How can you see your liver? I mean, we take a blood panel, and these are numbers, but let me show you what those numbers do with your liver. Let me show you what that A1C says about your pancreas. Let me help you understand, like, every nutrient in our system goes through that small intestine. Let me help you understand how all of that is brought into this energy so we can live this fulfilled life, right? And then let's take those pharmaceuticals and let's learn about those and what they do to our stomach system and our digestive system, and how do we change this ever evolving and growing health issues, cancer, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. We got hit with COVID, and that was detrimental to our people because we were already set up for it, right? But now let's change it. Let's change that dynamic, and let's learn about this, and let's teach gut health. And not a lot of people are talking about gut health because it's not very well understood. But that's my passion. That's, I went to school, ASU, Chandler Gilbert Community College. I, learned about, I took the best of both worlds, 2 minors, community college. I learned about, I got 2 degrees. I'm always doing 2, everything, double dip on everything. If I'm going to get an associate's in general ed, I'm going to apply it with the associates. I'm going to double dip. I'm going to get the most out of whatever, it's like getting a good bargain, right? You're going to pay for something, you're going to get the most out of it, right? That's kind of how we are as Native, right? I don't know. That's my way. So I went ahead and double dipped in junior college. And then, when I went to ASU, our people. When I walk into funeral settings, I walk into family settings, and I see walkers, I see wheelchairs, I see canes, and they're as young as myself or just not that much older, or I feel like there's a need. My own family, my dad and my mom, they have gone through their suffering. My second mom passed away from pancreatic cancer. People are passing away from cancers, these things that we don't have time to waste now. It's like, I feel like I'm on limited time to teach this information, right? To show you your liver, to show you your guts in this is, in this way, right? And so ASU blessed me with an interdisciplinary studies program where you take 2 minors and combine them, one in kinesiology, which is exercise wellness, and the other one in medical dietetics, healthy living and nutrition. So you learn the best of both worlds because they work together, right? And one of the biggest things that I learned and all of this is that learning the digestive system and gut health will help all of us understand how to make better food choices. And it's not about taking away out, I'm not going to take away my fry bread. I'm not going to take away, that would just be, non-native, right? We just would not be native if we didn't have our fry bread. But our tortillas, our nanaskare, our bandetane, all these, different, our breads, but what about the cultural foods? The very fibrous foods, our herbs, our medicines, our acorn, our berries, our the meat, the hunting status, what they ate, anything that's not processed anymore in this world of processed goods, at some point we're going to be our own GMO. We're going to be walking GMOs. That's what I said, so what's your GMO? What are you high in? Are you high in high fructose syrup or, so it's really like that, and so my classes are very interactive. They're workshop based. They're fun. I like to travel the country and teach this and help others learn. And the kids are like amazing. They're the best. The seniors and the seniors and the youth, they're beautiful. They just love this stuff. And teaching and helping them understand. They're like, oh, okay. That's why. Why do I have a fatty liver? They said I had a fatty liver, well, what's the understand? Well, let's look at the diet. Let's look at high fatty foods, fried foods. Let's look at, processed foods that don't have nutrition dense. People talk to me and it's kind of sad. I go, we go out to dinner and everyone's Dawn, I don't eat like this all the time. Yeah, okay. But don't worry about me. Order whatever you guys want to order. And yes, do I have a hot dog every now and then? Yes, I had to. I was on the golf course the other day, but don't get me wrong. I went to a high-end steakhouse and I asked them, okay, so you say this is one of the best, cuts of steak, but where does the beef come from? Are they grass-fed? I'm asking them, like, if I'm gonna pay, we're gonna pay for something, I want to know what kind of quality it is. And they're kind of looking at me like, this native woman, but we have to advocate for ourselves. We have to advocate for ourselves and understand, what are we putting into this amazing body that our ancestors fought for? We exist here today because of them. How are we going to exist generations from now? Right? I talk about, our commodity food system. We love our cheese, but what has it done for us? Where our community gardens, our lands across, Indian country are being utilized for growing other things other than our own food systems, our own food sources, our own medicines are being jeopardized. My mom teaches about, she works with the forest services and they talk about making sure they protect the different, plants and trees and, the different medicines. And so where are we advocating all that? But right now, I believe and I love being out there, is advocating for ourselves right here in our own space, teaching, sharing. What does a A1C mean to us? A lot of times we go to these, here's some medicine. You just take this pharmaceutical drug and now we're learning dependency upon dependency upon dependency. But we're not learning the sovereignty that we desire so much. Let's take a real good look at that, So this message is really, what I want to teach is, like, we want to be sovereign, then it starts right here. Here we are, we got to know that. But how? And if we don't understand it, no one's going to teach it, A lot of them talk about doctors, well, how come the doctor, well, they know it, but we're busy trying to pump people in and out of these things because we got to do billing, right? Hate to say it, but it's all about that money line, and we as natives, I'll be that one. I'll be that one. Yes, I've worked with in-house services. I've worked with special diabetes programs and as a coordinator and helped with all these things. We get budgeted for this stuff, but there's also a budget for preventative care. And this is part of that. Part of acknowledging it, knowing it, and understanding it. And wow, if I eat all this, then this is what it does. Yeah. What are carbs? What are fats? What are proteins? And did our people look like we do now? Man, they were lean. They were strong. They could walk miles. They proved it. That's what got them through our long walks, right? So when we look at these different spaces and I look at this and I see my people and I'm thinking, man, I just really, really need to, I don't have time to waste. We gotta get on this road to, like, understanding, hey, we need to help each other and coming together and bringing that together. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just really appreciate this whole conversation as someone who's been on, like, a journey, like, of lifting weights and, like, nutrition and working with nutritionists and everything like that. Like, I think a lot has been processing my mind through this. And I think some things that come to my mind when I was on, like, and still continuously unlearning, I don't want to say bad habits, but unhealthy nutrition habits. There's a lot of unlearning, like, our community has to do. And I think one thing I learned on my, like, nutrition journey, though, was I had to face a lot of things that my grandparents and my parents faced, like to heal from that in order to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like I grew up on like fast food. Like once it hit 5 p.m., we were in the car going to Jack in the Box, going to McDonald's, kind of wherever. But I had to process it that this was definitely learned from like federal Indian policy, because my grandparents moved from the res to LA, and that's how my parents grew up too. Like just took that away from us and took that culture away from us. So like having to go back to think about food sovereignty, think about our nutritious foods, I literally had to step back and say like, okay, where did this come from and where did this all start? So it's like a constant learning and unlearning, and just like an internal journey in yourself.
Exactly. And that I love how you put that. And thank you for sharing your space with us, is because you're not the only one. You're not alone. None of us are alone on this journey as Native Indigenous people because of that historical food trauma and the food systems. I teach that whole historical food trauma and a food system and a food timeline for all of us. And we do all come from that, survival, we come from that space, and that's what they knew. That's what they taught. And that those are behavior patterns, and those are learned behavior patterns. And how do we unlearn them is exactly what, so in Manuelito Health and Wellness Systems, I also teach again from our wellness wheel, and those parts of the spiritual, the emotional, the mental, the nutritional, the financial, and the physical. You're right. You can work out all day long, but you cannot outwork a bad diet. It's just not possible. And everybody thinks it's 80% workout and 20% digestion. I almost said it's 20% nutrition. No, it's the other way around. It's 80% nutrition and 20% workout. But how do we understand that as Native Indigenous people, right? And then as we grow through everything, the fast food, I call it the epidemic, because there are countries that didn't have fast food. And once they got fast food implemented in the obesity rates went up, the cholesterol rates went up, all kinds of sicknesses go up, and because their body is not designed for it. Just like us as Native Indigenous people, you're going to tell me a doctor tells you, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a registered dietitian. I'm a health coach. However, I have the schooling in the background and the research studies. But the thing is how can a doctor say, oh, it's it's genetics? My ancestors didn't have diabetes, but the structure and the DNA is being changed through the foods that we're eating. And that's happening. And now that was how many generations ago, right? And now it's here. And it's only been 530 something years since 1492. It does take generations, but we're the generation that's getting hit now. We're the generation where, okay, now it's time to open our eyes, right? Now it's time to say, okay, look, if we don't do something, we are going to be gone. That's the reality of it. That's the scary part of it. Now it's time to advocate and be responsible for our own actions in our own homes, at our own tables, right? And it's not a bad thing. You can have your fry bread, you can have all the good native foods and stuff, but let's incorporate some nutrition density foods. And that's okay. You don't have to do it every day, but every now and then might just save your life. It might be saving our future kids, because one of the scariest things is that kids are being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes at the earliest ages of 5 now. How do we change this? How do we make an impact? So these are my messages. My rooms of workshops are very, very real. They're very visual, obviously. They're fun, but we also have to have these heart-to-heart conversations with ourselves. We're seeing, over this time of COVID, it attacked those that were the unhealthiest, right? And those were our people, and we're becoming statistics. We're becoming, these things that we don't want to be. We don't want to be, we don't like those labels. We like strong, resilient. But how can you be strong and resilient through something that you're not willing to change?
I think that's a big part of it, is you have to be like, nowadays, I feel like if a person really wants to create some kind of change, we have access to the internet. We have access to all these videos, to people like yourself. And I think if you can give all the education, but if a person mentally is not ready, like they're not gonna implement and take action. And that's the hurdle, I think. I myself was diagnosed with diabetes, and my A1C was 9. And I went to the doctor, and they gave me all this information, right, and all these videos and all these classes, and I did them because I wanted to change. And I came back, and just last week actually, and my A1C is now 6.5. I'm 6.5, and I'm getting down. My goal is to get down to 5.6. And the doctor was amazed, like, how did you do it? And I was like, I did what you told me to do. Like, I took the classes, I implemented exercise, I eat more veggies and fruit, and I did all the things you told me to do. But that's because that was on me. Like, I wanted to change. I have been in other classes before when I was borderline, and I went along with it, but that motivation and drive, I guess, just wasn't there. So I don't know. I feel like it's possible. I really appreciate what you're doing. I would love to come to one of your workshops so I can learn more and see the apron live. Like, I wanted to ask you though about your podcast.
Oh, yes.
So I've listened to your podcast, and I wanted to know, when do we get another episode?
Okay. They are coming out. I have just been on delay mode, so I really need to get better at that. Yes, I do have some more coming out. You guys got a little bit of the Marine Corps marathon. I want to share my journey with that. That's going to be updated as well. So yes, I do have a podcast, and I am so thankful because, in the podcast world, it's a little different, right? And I wanted to make sure I integrated in two worlds, all of this. We bounce back and forth in ceremony. How do we bring that to this world and stay in this world of, of understanding and value and culture? And, I feel like that's really a space that I can share that. So yes, we'll be updating podcasts. I have them all sitting lined up, ready to go. So yes, I will. Big shout out to my podcast world though. Our Indigenous Truth was one of my first podcasts. Anthony Perkins, Be a Better You. But then our big one is Fight for Our Existence podcast as well. So you guys take a look at all of those, because those are, I've been on guests on those podcasts as well. So if you want to tune into those are great podcasts to listen to as well. But I'm looking, and those are, I'm looking at getting more content on there. And that's from these perspectives, from understanding, and it's really about my mind, again, mindset, everything, and what goes through there, like on a random, April.
Mine are always random. My thoughts are always running. Always, like right now, Jen's talking about how she got better, and then I can tell I want her to talk about 60-40. She always tells me about, is it 60-40, or some days you go
60-80. Yes. So I eat 60 to 80% healthy. If you eat 21 meals a week, 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, so that's 21 meals. So I make sure between 14 to 18 of those meals are healthy. And healthy for me might be different than healthy for you or somebody else. But for me, that means it's half veggies, and then a little bit of meat or starch or protein or starch or whatever. But so I was just telling my sister, I'm at my sister's house in Las Vegas right now. And I was just telling her that I thought what I would do, I'm really big on writing on my mirror with dry erase pens. And so I was every day was like, did I have a treat meal today, or did I have like a healthy meal? And I was like tallying. I did that for several weeks. And then I was like, I got it. Like, I can do it. I didn't have it. I like just completely was like, was that healthy or not? Like, I just was. So I kind of like plateaued, and now I have to go back to actually tracking it. That's like, but I look at it like, you know, I tried on my own. I didn't do well, but I don't consider it like a failure. It was just a learning. So keep going, you know, try it again. I'm not going to like completely give it up.
Right. And commend you for that. Commend you for all the steps that you're taking, but you're unlearning as the same thing. Right. And not looking at as failure. You know, we have that judgment. We have that major judgment on ourselves about failure and stuff. And it's really not. It really is just about learning and understanding our bodies better, right? And I love that you do you've done it the way you do, what works for you. And that's another thing when I teach my classes, it's not about this is the one size fits all plan. No, we're all uniquely, individually different. These parts do the same thing, but they're different for everybody on how our lifestyles. What are our lifestyles like? What do I need? Are you kidding me? Everyone laughs at me, and there's a term called the Dawn diet. So, because there are times I have not eaten all day. I did today, I promise. But you know, like I won't eat all day. But when I do eat, I'm very selective about what I eat. Because like what am I going to put in there? You know, for me, that works, right? And now nutrition, what are we training for? Are we all training for a marathon and have to eat so many amounts of nutrition dense carbs, simple sugars, complex sugars, you know, all these different things that we can go into, but based on what I'm doing, right? And understanding that everybody is different and not everybody likes vegetables. Okay, not everybody likes fruits, right? And not everybody. So I have a whole list of like, here you go. Here's your list. Pick and choose. Try something new. And for me, I've never told somebody you can't have that. As a client, as you know, somebody I'm helping, it's like, okay, you're going to have that, but you want to try something else. And after a while, their table and their plate gets filled with other things, something else's and their body. Really, I used to be like, okay, I want something. Go get an Oreo or a bag full of them, whatever. The sleeve, I don't know. One turns into a whole sleeve, okay? And then, you know, and then later I want something salty, sweet, salty. But people don't realize that that's your body becoming aware of, maybe I need vitamin A. Maybe I need vitamin B when I'm drinking that energy drink, right? And picking and choosing what kinds of energy drinks are good for you, because there are some that are not completely bad for you. And not being so black or white on things. There's a gray area, and that gray area can be okay, right? But Western society and that colonized mindset can get us into those this way or this way. Two choices. And Chief Lee that I met, I overheard his conversation and listening to his conversation with my son. And he was telling him it's not right or wrong. It's left or right. Whichever direction you choose, there's a lesson there. Choose wisely, you know. And so this is an elder giving my son this info, you know, these tips and wisdom. And I'm thinking, I thought about that, and I'm like, it's true. We don't have a right hand and a wrong hand. We have a right hand and a left hand, right? And so, you know, I think colonization and that Western mindset is like really about that. You got to do it these certain ways. And what if it doesn't work for us? As Native Indigenous people, the food system is not working for us. And we're not working for the food system either. So how do we cultivate? How do we go, you know, hunting? How do we gather and forage and speak our language spiritually? I mean, you know, this is one of the biggest ones. I'm like, okay, we're going through drive-through at McDonald's. Okay, are we getting out our pollen? Are we offering? Are we putting our spirit plate aside? You know, I'm just going to say it because we do this. We're indigenous, we're native, but how indigenous and how native are we going to be today? Right. You know, and, for me, I get caught up in that same system. I am by no means ever perfect, nor am I sitting on a soapbox trying to preach anything, because everything I'm sharing with you is everything I've struggled with or still do. I do. There are times like, again, hours of not eating. My lifestyle is different. It's busy. It's a lot, or maybe I'm just not hungry. Maybe that's a normal thing. Do I have to be eating all the time? These are emotions. Are we eating emotions? Are we mentally eating our thoughts? Where are we at with all of this, right? So it has everything to do with our gut system. Our gut system has everything to do with the mental part too. It feeds our neurological system as well. And how do we do that? So, I mean, I love these workshops. This is all the stuff that we go into. I have 1 day, 2 days, 3-day workshops. I have, 6-week programs, 12-week programs, and, facilitating these workshops and getting these kinds of information and going deep into what it is, coming out with a workbook. I'm also going to be introducing some amazing gut health products coming out soon, so be on the lookout for that. Holistic, natural, everything that will help our bodies, molecule, again, energy healing, all of these different varieties of services that I do encompass. And if you don't mind, if I could give you a shout out as to, again, Return to the Hearts organization, please look them up and seek them. They've really helped myself and just get the first step started. Again, I talked about our podcast, but also, I want to give a shout out to also Southwest Business Development Consultants, which is Mr. Michael Peacock, and their 4 Winds Diversified program, because they help make my programs expanding come to life with what they do for Indian country, Native Indigenous women entrepreneurs as well, and helping us, evolve and grow. So all of you ladies, in that area, make sure you look them up and you can be a part of that as well. The podcast that I shared with you are Indigenous Truth, Fight for Our Existence, podcasting, mine as well. I wanted to be like in the world of Dawn's mind, but that was a little like, okay, who would know? So I just said the Dawn Manuelito show, right? And then also, so these are platforms, thank you, Elton. Love you. They got to see my in person. There was a little, I think everyone's like, yeah, show them. Let's just give them a little bit. And then we were sitting there talking for like 2 hours about that. And it can just get out of hand. Your guts can literally get out of hand. And, just teaching the different spaces and healing that we can do within our own selves. And that's my biggest passion, is loving people from my heart of heart, and loving you right where you're at, and learning that, because I'm a big advocate for growth and healing, so that we can be more unified and not so segregated. I believe as Native Indigenous communities, we come together, but we really need to embrace that unity and loving on each other, and, not being awkward when I say, hey, I love you, because in my family, it's hard as Native Indigenous people, it wasn't always expressed, I love you, I care about you, I'm proud of you, keep doing, good things. And, maybe every now and then, did I know my parents were proud of me? Yeah, I did. Would it have been nice to hear it a little bit? Yeah. Okay. But who's saying that? Western society, or which one am I feeding? My ego or my pride? Or, and then I go into all that stuff. So I'm a really big overthinker. So if you're out there and you overthink and you go down that rabbit hole of that stuff too, you're not alone. I'm there. Am I always optimistic? I am. Am I always positive? No. I have my days. I have my moments. Okay, everybody. I do. Yes, I'm a tear flower. I flow with my emotions, and whether they're happy tears or sad tears or mad tears or frustrated tears, and then my sarcasm comes out, and then you get that flavor too. So it's just a whole array of rainbows and unicorns and glitter, and we'll just be sparkly, and we'll be sad sparkly. I don't care. We'll be mad sparkly. So thank you so much. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them, April, if we have time. I know we've gone way over time.
Way over time, but I don't have a deadline. I mean, this is important information that I think that we need to continue to talk about. So if there are questions, please put them in the comments and she can answer them. Jen or Justine, if you have any questions or want to say anything, please do so. We are over time, but it doesn't matter.
Thank you, Jen, Justine, you ladies. Thank you, April, for letting me share spaces with you. And that's another thing. I do workshops. So if you all have, your network of people that you want me to share this, with, reach out. We're posting my link tree and how to get a hold of me. There's social media everywhere, right? I just feel like you ladies are amazing. It was healing, April. It was healing. These spaces of, what we do. You all are, ladies, what you do and serve and give to our communities just by being present. Thank you. Thank you for being that Native Indigenous woman to step out into every day and be amazing. Men, you warriors out there, you are amazing. We need to reconnect our men to our society, that they too are amazing men, that they too are loved, and that they too are valued just as much as we do as women. Two spirits, you're valued, you're loved, you're received, each and every one of us. I feel like this is a space, that this is my heart. This is the compassion that I get as a Native Indigenous person, woman, an Apache woman, you can go from 0 to 90 in, a split second every now and then. But this is my heart of hearts, everyone. So I thank you all for listening out there. I thank you for everyone tuning in. This was amazing, April. This was fun. I hope to see more of it. I hope to do more of this stuff. Again, tune into podcasts, my websites, she shared my link tree. It's just like a plethora of social media spaces. So yeah, I had someone come up to me not too long. Most times when I go out to places and they're like, "Oh, you're the gut lady." And I was like, "Yeah. Where's your suit? Did you bring your suit?" Or, things like that. So it's fun, everybody. Thank you, Roberta. Thank you.
Awesome.
You're welcome, Michael. You're welcome, Mr. Peacock.
So I know that I just want to say to all, thank you for being here today. Thank you for the message that you shared. I also know that it's Native American Heritage Month, but as an Indigenous person, as a South Pueblo woman, as an Oglala Lakota woman, that Native American Heritage Month is every day for me. But I want to ask people, how are you celebrating Thanksgiving? How are you celebrating being with your families? Tell them that you love them. It's give them a hug. I know that we also need to be safe too. So as well, watch out for your elders. If you have a plate, if you can take them some food, take them some medicine. Again, it's going to get cold. If they need wood, check on them. I know that Jen has a event coming up, then that's why she's in Las Vegas. So I'm going to have Jen share real quick. Not real quick, as long as you want.
No, it will be really quick. It is today. The event is today, so I'm going straight from here. Gonna eat something and go to Nevada State University. I will be doing a screening of In Our Own Hands. And I don't know what else to share. Here's the flyer. I'm really excited. It's Nevada State University. And last year when I was here in Las Vegas, somebody from the university connected with me, and we thought we were going to be able to do it last year, but we're doing it this year for Native American Heritage Month. And I also just found out through social media that the Multicultural Collective, which is in Dawson 110, is brand new. It's like a brand new building or a brand new space. So I'm one of the first. They have had some other events, but I'm one of the first. And I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. But that's a part of social media. So yeah, I'm excited. Short film in our own hands, MMIW. That's what will be happening later today at 5. So,
well, you look fabulous, and you're going to be amazing.
Thank you.
I love your earrings, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
We're all doing something different, huh? I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I look forward to seeing all that come right into this world. Did you ever think that you were going to be here doing what you're doing?
Me, little bit. I mean, I started as an actress and had to move from not really having any good roles to learning how to write, which led to learning how to direct, which led to learning how to produce and how to edit. So it's been a long road. When I look back, it's been over 20 years, but I knew that I did want to do this. I just didn't know how would I be able to do it. But as I was talking with my sister about our lives, I realized like I'm doing what I wanted to do. I'm like manifestation queen over here. I'm living exactly where I thought I would be living, but I didn't know it at the time when I was living off of $5 a week and only shopping at the dollar store. But now I'm living in Hawaii and I'm living, it's just like, it's amazing. So I think going back to mindset, if you think that you can, I believe that you will. So you have to see it in your mind in order to see it in physical reality. So I'm very conscious and I'm very lucky that I have wonderful supportive friends like Averill and Justine. And of course, the love of my life, Glenn, who's also the same way. We have a manifestation board in our kitchen, things that we're working on together jointly. And we've been able to did that. So I think my message would be to just have faith, which is believing when you're not seeing. It's really hard. It's a mental game, but yeah. So I really enjoyed today, ladies. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Manifestation board that I'm going to be coming to visit you in my guest room at your house.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Put on your manifestation board, you and Glenn's, that I'm going to come visit you in my guest room. I've been trying to make it out to see Jen since
I'll cut out a picture of you and like tape you in the corner of our board.
That would be great. I would love to come out and do a workshop. We're going to manifest that.
Yeah. You know what? We had Jessie Takins alive. She put it up on her. She was like, I don't know how I'm getting there, but I'm going to Hawaii. And it took less than a year. And next thing I know, her husband was emceeing one of our events. And she was like, ta-da, not only am I here, but we're getting paid to be here. And our hotel is taken care of. So like, put it out there. You know what I mean? Like, put it out there.
I love that you are big on manifesting everything in your life, right? Because we don't realize through the years of behavior patterns, right? Growing up, we're manifesting our dreams, and all of a sudden life gets in the way and we stop manifesting our dreams and we start stressing and worrying and all of these things. But when we take back our power in that and we go, okay, I can create this, I would never have thought that I was going to be doing what I'm doing today. Doing this, and meeting beautiful, amazing people across the country, and teaching it. Who's going to talk about their guts? Come on, like why not, right? And what does that look like to some people, right? And I probably would never, but one thing I did speak, and this is, I declare it, is that I will speak to many nations about health and wellness. I will help many nations with health and wellness, healthy living, healthy lifestyles. That you just got, it has to be something you pour it out from your heart. Unless, if not, then how does the universe know? You know, creator says, here we go. Here's all your gifts, you know, and then you're like, what I do, you know?
So I just want to say thank you all for being here. Christine, Jennifer, Dawn, my sisters, I really appreciate you in the way that we're able to celebrate. The question that I wanted to ask is how, I mean, and I've already asked, is how are you celebrating? This is one way that I wanted to celebrate. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dawn.
As far as celebrating Native Heritage Month?
Yeah.
I like yourself, I say I celebrate it every day in honoring who I am and honoring my ancestors and walking in that space of beauty, walking in, you know, just, you know, I feel like celebrating it and sharing space with my family, those that have walked my journey with me, those that have, you know, loved me most at my unlovable most. You know, there's been those times too. So I feel like, again, like yourself, Native American Heritage Month it's a daily thing for us. Thankfulness is every day. Gratitude is every day. In every situation, every perspective. I mean, I have my down and out moments, but I feel like, okay, Dawn, enough is enough now. Time to, you know, suck it up, Buttercup. Warrior up, Buttercup.
Thanks for sharing. Christine, you want to share what you, and then we'll go to Jen.
Yes.
And then we'll end with something.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Other than wearing pretty earrings every day, I definitely have been really reflective on like what has been said today. Like, you know, just being able to take care of myself because, you know, a lot of I'd say a lot of my family members have suffered from trauma and they can't be there for themselves. Especially, I think being sober is one way I really celebrate Native American Heritage Month because some of my family members, I don't want to say they can't, but they choose not to be. And I feel like that's an addiction that they have. So I say if I can fight the addiction, that's what I'm going to do. So just taking care of my wellness in general. Got really deep, but yeah.
No,
I celebrate.
No, it needs to be deep. It needs to
does.
be hard and to stay out there and to heal. And maybe, you know, as I close with the prayer, like really, when I do close with the prayer, speaking about those that are still trying to seek recovery, still trying to seek, you know, what we all have been able to go through. I'm been sober from alcohol for over 15 years, and I never thought that I would do that. So, Jen, I'm going to go to you. And then also in the comments, thank you, Waylon, for letting us know how you'll celebrate. But Jen, let's also ask how you're going to be celebrating.
I think I don't have any like set plans other than coming here. And then as you all were talking, I was like, what am I doing? I think I'm just reconnecting with my community, the specifically Native film community. I'm going to be going to a screening of one of my friends' films at SkinFest on Saturday. And I am just looking forward to connecting with other Indigenous filmmakers. And for me, you know, traveling from Oahu to Los Angeles or the continent, Las Vegas, you know, it's expensive and it's a big, you know, it's 5.5 hours. So it's kind of like a big deal. So I'm like, this is what I'm doing. This is it. And I don't know if my grandson has reached the age yet where we kind of like reveal to him the true happenings of Thanksgiving. We've talked about it with the parents. What he's learning in school is, not accurate. And we know that we want to do that, but we also kind of are concerned about his spirit, because it's heavy information. And he's such a beautiful and innocent child that we want to just, I don't know if it's going to be this year. It might be next year, but that's something that we'll have to talk about as a family, to explain to him more about the true happenings of what happened. So that's going to be very interesting, and I look forward to that. So that'll be one other thing I know the day will come where it won't be kind of like where we are now with him and his education, and I look forward to that. But this is like the first step. So that's what's happening over here.
Nice. Love it, Jen. Thank you, Justine. Love it both. Just everyone know that your space and energy has been beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, from here. And Justine, I just want to say, I teach in the well-bride recovery and sobriety communities and share that knowledge and how to transition into healthy living as well. So family, we need all of you, each and every one of your spaces. We need you, ladies. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and close this video unless anybody else would like to close with a prayer or a song. If I'm going to count, I'm not going to count. I'm just going to go ahead and offer it. If not, then I will. Okay. Creator, we come to you today with open hearts and open minds, thankful for the many blessings that you provide us on a minute, monthly, second basis, from the ability to walk, talk, be here today, to laugh, to go deep, to smile, to realize, to understand, to manifest. May you continue to watch over the amazing individuals that are here live on this panel, watching in this live show or watching a replay. May you be with them not only today, but throughout the years to come. May you continue to help them find their passion, their strengths, their love for themselves, for their people, for others. Creator, I ask that you watch over individuals that are houseless, our vets, our relatives that are struggling with whatever it is that they're struggling. I know we're all going through something, Creator, so please continue to watch over us as we walk and rise each day. If we're not able to walk, as we rise each day, Creator, I'm so thankful for this amazing information that's been shared. I ask, Creator, that you continue to keep our Turtle Island relatives, all of our relatives, everybody healthy, wealthy, and safe. Creator, I love you, and I'm so thankful for all the blessings that you've provided. Continue to bless them as you bless me. Ta'a pilamayaye gracias a Dios. Jonesle, aho. The end. Thank you, ladies, for another beautiful shared time. I love visiting. This is what a sissies, unchies, and aunties is about visiting. Sissies, unchies, which means grandmas, and aunties, were created by Jennifer, Justine, and myself, just having a conversation. And, that's what I say about my business, AC and Associates. It's AC, Avro Cordova, me, and my associates, my friends that want to help me with these crazy ideas that I come up with. So thank you all. Happy Native American Heritage Month. May you enjoy time with your friends and families. And until next time, we'll see you. Thank you.